Welcome back inside the Fox Sports studios. So this part of the show, Shawn, we're going to ask you to take your analyst hat off. You're going to be a regular guest for a minute, if you don't mind. We're also going to be interviewing the other half of the September 28th pay-per-view main event, unbeaten IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. Errol, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Listen, you're going to be fighting just down the road from our studios here in LA at the Staples Center. Is that a venue that you've wanted to fight at?
Definitely. It's one of the venues that I haven't fought there before. I'm always fighting in New York. Of course, I love New York. But, you know, I wanted to switch things up and finally have a fight in LA. I haven't fought in LA probably since, I think, my fourth or fifth fight. So, you know, it's something different.
I know you said, Shawn, that you want to fight there. I mean, we've seen some historic fights there, haven't we? We've seen Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito, Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya. Do you feel that you guys can put on a fight that matches the magnitude of those ones?
Most definitely. We were just there for Wilder and Fury, and that was the first time that I had been at a fight there in the Staples, and I thought, like, wow, it would be nice to fight here. And then we announced the fight, and they're telling us they were fighting at the Staples. That's been the most exciting part to me so far of this whole promotion, is that we're going to be able to do it at the Staples Center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Errol, let me ask you, are you tired of doing a promotion with Shawn yet?
A little bit, but I mean, this is part of the duties. I mean, if you want to be a megastar, you want to be a superstar, you want to, have great pay-per-view buys, you have to do this type of stuff. So, I mean, it does get tiring sometimes, but I mean, it's part of the job.
How about you, Shawn?
We just getting started, baby. Don't get tired on me yet.
Errol, coming into this one, you're the betting favorite. Do you feel like there's more pressure on you in this fight?
No, it's something I don't think about. You just not telling me that is news to me. It's something I don't look into. It's something I don't think about, because at the end of the day, you still got to get in the ring and fight, and it's just me against him. So, I mean, there's no pressure, no added pressure on me at all.
I mean, Mikey Garcia was given better odds to beat Errol than you've been given at this point in time, Shawn, and that was a guy who'd never fought at welterweight, was coming up 2 divisions. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's the respect that, Mikey had demanded at that point for himself. Everyone looked at him as someone that potentially could beat Errol Spence. At this point, my job is to get in there and fight and do what I love to do. I love to win. I love to look great. And it doesn't matter who I'm up against. I'm always out to do just that. And, so for me to be the B-side is okay. For me to be the underdog, I'm completely fine with that, because I've lived my entire life like that, So to be 31 and do it is nothing new to me at all.
Errol, I got a question for you. Are you expecting the same Shawn that edged a win against Ugas?
No. I'm expecting a more explosive, a more, compact Shawn Porter who's going to go back to, throwing punches and, making it a rough, tough fight. So, I'm not expecting the Shawn Porter that fought Ugas.
Shawn, I've heard you say in the past that Errol Spence has never faced a Shawn Porter. What do you bring to the table that he hasn't seen yet?
Well, I mean, just right there. He says he's expecting Shawn Porter to come and be aggressive and do the things you guys have seen me do for a long time. And he's never been in the ring with somebody that can do the unexpected. I'm going to touch him, and he's not going to expect me to hit him as hard as I'm going to hit him. He doesn't expect me to box him the way that I can box him, and he's saying he expects me to be aggressive, but, expectation and what you get is 2 different things.
Have you ever faced anyone who's as complete a package as Errol Spence?
No, I do. I think that that Errol Spence is a complete package as well. I think the closest thing to it is Mikey Garcia, and other than that would be Keith Thurman. So I think that there's a lot of experience on my side that, even the bookies and the people that make the betting odds, they don't know about.
Listen, Shawn, let me ask you. I remember when they interviewed Mikey, he said, Errol and myself do the same thing. We're similar fighters, but I just do it that much better. And it didn't show that night. Errol Spence just made easy work of him.
Yep. Simply to answer that question, I think that, for me to understand what it takes to beat Errol Spence is one thing, and then for me to do that is an entirely different thing. But I think that, unlike Mikey, I know what it takes, and I'm willing to do what it takes. And I'm not saying that Mikey wasn't willing, but I think that after a couple of rounds, the fight went the way that it went. And I think that more than anything, it altered Mikey Garcia's mind, and I'm not allowing that. You know, when I go in the ring, I'm gonna control the ring. I'm gonna be the general, and I'm gonna do what I have to do, and that's me. That's how I get down in the ring. You know, so I know that the same goes for Errol Spence. He's wanting to do certain things, and it's up to me not to not allow them to happen.
Errol, is this going to be a close fight?
I don't know. When I train for a close, hard, rugged fight. So, I mean, if it is close, then, you know, it's something I'm ready for. If you know, I get him out of there early, it's something I'm ready for too. But I'm training right now for a hard fight, and I know he has crazy will. So, you know, I'm expecting a hard fight. I don't know if it's going to be a close fight or not.
And we're both training to make this an easy fight. You know what I mean? We're both training to knock one another out. And, you know, at this point, I think that maybe one of the biggest factors is will. You know, who's
when you say you train for an easy fight, when I go into fights, I don't think any fight's gonna be easy. To be honest.
Well, I mean
you try to make it easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's had fights where he's made him look easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest.
Even the fight with Mikey Garcia, in a lot of ways, he did make that fight look more simpler than most people thought it was going to be, you know. So myself and my team, we feel the same way. We feel that the public has made this fight more complex than it needs to be. I think that any fighter, you break them down and you figure out what they do well, what they don't do well, and then you adjust your program to how you beat that guy, you know. So trust me, man, I've been hitting the weights. I've gotten, you know, my
How
power.
close are you to peak condition right now?
Peak condition, I would say I'm still a little ways away, but we got time, you know. But I'm ahead of the ball, much further along than I was when I fought Dennis Ugas and Mikey Garcia.
You further along than Errol, do you think?
Yes, most definitely.
Errol?
He know he ain't been training like I've been training. That's okay though. I know you're gonna get it up. I know you're gonna get it up. I know you're gonna get it up.
I'm in shape. I always come in shape. I always come prepared to fight.
He does.
If you look at all my fights, my punch output, you look at the welterweight or matter of fact, any boxers out there, you know, my punch rate is up to probably top 10 with everybody. So, I mean, I always come in shape and ready to fight.
I'm top 5. Just so you know.
Listen, both of your resumes just so stacked. Errol and Shawn, you've both faced a who's who in the welterweight division during your respective reigns. Right now, we want to compare your past with your future in our latest edition of the game we call Game, Recognize, Game. Let's start with the IBF champ, Errol. Who do you think has the better footwork? Is it your most recent foe, Mikey Garcia, or your September 28th opponent, Shawn Porter?
They're both different. You know, Shawn does a lot of feints and a lot of different things. I would say Shawn.
Okay, Shawn, one for you.
Shawn, let me ask you, who do you think has more power, Danny Garcia or Errol Spence?
You know, I think Danny has shown some explosion. He's had a lot of big one-punch knockouts. Errol has had some of those, but he's just been relentless with his power. I think that if there was one that I had to worry about or be more concerned with, I think it's Errol, because he uses his power a little different. He's not relying on one punch, which is, you know, something that Mikey does, or excuse me, that Danny does. So I would say that Errol is more powerful than Mikey. Danny Garcia.
A lot of Garcias.
Yeah, right.
Errol, next one for you. Who's the craftier fighter? Is it Shawn or the man you won the belt off, Kell Brook?
Kell Brook. Kell Brook does a lot of, you know, tricky things, especially with his jab and his straight right. And you know, he's a veteran, and he's real tricky. He has a good one too. I mean, that's basically what he relies on, especially being an international fighter. You know, a lot of them, they rely on their jab and their 1-2, so it's something that, you know, he's been working on for a long time, and I would say Kell Brook is the more craftier.
Shawn, I got one for you. Might be a difficult one.
All right.
Who's got the better hand speed, Errol Spence or Adrian Broner?
That is a difficult one. I think that I really took away Adrian Broner's hand speed, but I think if we just take a look at the landscape of both fighters, I think that we know Adrian to be a combination puncher when he wants to be.
Right.
I think he's a little faster than Errol Spence is.
All right, tell me this one. It seems like both of you eventually want to fight Manny Pacquiao. Who would give the fighting senator the tougher fight? Errol, you first.
You say that again?
Who would give Manny Pacquiao a tougher fight? Is it you, is it Shawn?
I mean, I think You know, I think I beat Manny Pacquiao. I think I give him a very tough fight, but
Do you
I think
Shawn
Shawn give
beats
him a
Manny
tough fight
Pacquiao?
too. Just, I don't know if he beats him, but he give him a hell of a fight.
I say the same. I honestly, honest answer, I do feel like I would beat Manny. I think that I just know what it takes to beat Manny. But I think outside of myself, I think Errol Spence is the only other young guy out there that can really give Manny trouble and give him a run for his money.
All right, Errol, thanks for joining us. Cannot wait for this fight. Really looking forward to it. Welterweight unification battle is coming up at Staples Center for you. You can see Spence against Porter, plus Anthony Durrell against David Benavidez. It's all coming up for you September 28th, live on pay-per-view or via the Fox Sports app. Thank you for watching. Well, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you click somewhere around here and subscribe. From fight highlights to exclusive interviews, we have got everything you need as a boxing fan right here on PBC on Fox.